It's the Kingaming Festival, and a gloomy drizzle falls over the city as people head to the cemetery to pay their respects. Lu Li is among the mourners, reciting ancient verses from the I Ching about the untiring movement of heaven. He stands before his master's grave, complaining that the stinky old man always forced him to memorize these 64 hexagrams when he was a kid. But there's a darker reason for his visit. His own death date is set for tomorrow, and he's not ready to give up yet. He pulls out a jade pendant, the only memento his master left behind for him. He grips the pendant tight, hoping it's enough to protect him from the coming storm. As he leaves, he tells the old man that if he manages to survive his fate, he'll be back to see him next year. He starts cycling home through the torrential rain, alone on a dark, winding road. Suddenly, a massive truck rounds the corner, its high beams blinding him completely. He freezes as the glare fills his vision, the impact inevitable. The truck slams into him with a violent force, tossing him and his bike into the air. But right as the crash happens, the jade pendant erupts in a surge of red and blue energy. The pendant shatters into pieces, its power flaring up against the rainy sky. His bike lies wrecked on the road, but something far more sinister is happening elsewhere. In a ritual room filled with hanging talismans, the atmosphere shifts. A straw doll with Lu Li's name on it suddenly starts gushing blood, taking the damage in his place. Lu Li lies on the ground coughing, convinced for a moment that he's reached his limit. But he realizes he's still alive as glowing blue energy starts pulsing from his chest. His right eye begins to glow with a strange spiral pattern, and he realizes his master's pendant actually blocked the calamity. He stands up with silver-white hair and black markings on his skin, looking down at a group of figures in the dark. Su's second young master is on the ground nearby, terrified and asking if Lu Li is a ghost. The wealthy brat begs him not to come any closer, claiming he never planned to actually harm him. He cries out for mercy, saying he was just trying to escape something dirty that was haunting him. Lu Li asks if that was his reason for making him a scapegoat. Su immediately shifts the blame to Old Man Feng. Lu Li stares him down, the name of the mystic sparking a memory. Flashback to one day ago, where Lu Li was cornered by the two men in a quiet courtyard. Old Man Feng was examining Lu Li, amazed by his perfect and unblemished constitution. He was so impressed that he even asked Lu Li to introduce him to his master. Su interrupted their talk, reminding Feng that he wasn't hired to read fortunes or make friends. He just wanted a straight answer. Could Lu Li take the disaster for him? Feng agreed, but thought it was a waste to just use him as a shield when his blood could be used as medicine. He claimed it would restore Su's health in just 3 days, which was exactly what the young master wanted to hear. Lu Li refused to help, telling Su to go to the hospital instead of trying to steal his life. Su just sneered, mocking the bond between Lu Li and his late master. Lu Li warned them to stop harming people and start doing good deeds to accumulate virtue instead. Su laughed at the idea, saying his money could buy anything, and if he couldn't have Lu Li's blood willingly, he'd take it by force. He was completely unhinged, finding the whole concept of repentance hilarious. He told Lu Li to shut up and stop acting like a moral teacher because it was annoying. Su's patience had run out, and he told Old Man Feng it was time to leave. Feng gave Lu Li one last warning about losing out on a great opportunity before following Su out. The two walked away, leaving Lu Li alone in the courtyard. Lu Li looked down at his hand, sensing a strange vibration coming from his chest where the pendant hung. Lu Li stares at his jade pendant, realizing it took a massive hit for him during the crash. Deep cracks have spread across the surface of the stone, and he knows it won't hold much longer. He touches the cold markings on his face, feeling the weight of the curse taking hold. He's finally found his answer. Those black, vine-like marks on his neck are exactly what he expected to see. He stands over the cowering Su, nodding that the curse was cast at that very moment of impact. Su explains that once Old Man Feng heard his master's name, he insisted on coming along personally to handle things. But the plan backfired, and now Su is in absolute agony, begging Lu Li to save him as the black veins consume his face. He screams for help, but the curse is already turning his body into a mess of black ink. Lu Li watches him writhe, realizing it's the exact same curse seal that's spreading on his own skin. It turns out he wasn't the only target. Everyone around him has been marked by the same seal. He looks around at the bodies scattered across the ground. There wasn't a single survivor in the group. He wonders why he's the only one still standing, if they all shared the same deadly fate. In the distance, Old Man Feng is calmly manipulating copper coins on a red string. Lu Li realizes something is off. The world around him feels unstable and wrong. His body feels like it's on fire, as the curse tries to burn its way through his constitution. He looks around, realizing the entire courtyard is just a hallucination, a blindfold method meant to trap his mind. He's not about to let a cheap illusion stop him. He prepares to break the spell. He invokes the Cayenne hexagram, calling upon the Yang force to suppress the darkness. A swirl of blue energy surrounds him as he channels the sheer power of heaven. With a single command to break, he shatters the mental prison into 1,000,000 pieces. The world snaps back to reality, and Old Man Feng is impressed, nodding that Lu Li's master must have taught him some extraordinary tricks. Feng admits he might have missed this whole joyous occasion if it wasn't for the young master's meddling. He leans over the transformed Su, saying it wasn't in vain that he gave him the life root of a human puppet. To him, Su's gruesome state is just the natural will of heaven. Lu Li mocks him, saying the will of heaven would never teach such disgusting arts. Feng just dismisses him, reciting the belief that heaven and earth treat all living things like simple straw dogs. Lu Li asks why Feng is even bothering to harm him when they have no personal grudge. Feng just laughs, telling the little brother not to be so anxious. Survival isn't guaranteed when he's using a forbidden technique from the compendium. He wonders which is truly stronger, Lu Li's heavenly constitution or his latest batch of human puppets. Lu Li is done talking. He's going to show this old man what real power looks like. He focuses his energy, calling upon the brilliant heavenly might of the Zhen hexagram. He shouts the command to borrow thunder as the sky fills with crackling static. A massive bolt of lightning tears through the clouds, striking down at the puppet horde. Lu Li glares through the storm, his eyes glowing with determination. The lightning disperses into a web of electricity, frying the puppets where they stand. Feng stands his ground, the electricity dancing harmlessly around his umbrella. Lu Li is surprised to see the old man still standing. Is that all his research amounted to? He asks if this failure is the will of heaven Feng keeps talking about. Feng tells him not to be so arrogant and to stay focused on the real threat. He suggests Lu Li take a quick look behind him before it's too late. A massive, clawed shadow looms over Lu Li from the darkness behind him. Before he can even turn around, a beastly puppet lunges at him with a devastating strike. The rain continues to pour as the battle in the courtyard drags on. Old Man Feng doesn't stop talking, musing about how Lu Li's master managed to trick the heavens to keep him alive. Lu Li is caught in a crackling field of energy as the pressure of the fight intensifies. Feng stands tall in the storm, his eyes fixed on Lu Li as he tries to decipher the young man's true power. He holds his glowing copper coin high, the red energy swirling around it like a warning. Suddenly, the roar of an engine and the screech of tires signal the arrival of a black SUV. A group of figures in dark, hooded cloaks leap from the vehicle into the rain. Zyro Man is leading the charge, shouting for Fatty Wang to quit stalling and keep up. Fatty Wang isn't in any rush, grumbling about how he just wants to pay off his mortgage without getting into a mess. He uses his detection arts, confirming that there are 3 targets ahead and no obvious ambushes. He shouts to Zyro Man that there's a serious situation unfolding ahead of them. He warns her that he can't sense the limits of 2 of the auras, making Zyro Man realize they've caught a big fish. The beast puppet Su lets out a deafening, monstrous scream, its eyes burning red. Zyro Man drops in from above, slamming the puppet's head into the wet ground with a curt, "So noisy." Lu Li is knocked down as the puppet recovers, the air thick with the smell of ozone and wet earth. Feng notes that his human puppet isn't bothered by ordinary lightning arts at all. Lu Li refuses to back down, deciding to test the limits of his power one more time. A massive discharge of blue lightning erases the darkness for a split second. Feng explains that his puppets are neither living nor dead, existing outside the normal laws of nature. He manipulates the glowing coin in his hand, channeling more energy into the ritual. He mocks the idea that ordinary light could harm a being that transcends the 5 elements. Lu Li snaps back, telling the old antique that his constant rambling is getting on his nerves. The courtyard is bathed in a sinister red light as the struggle continues. Feng gives Lu Li a condescending warning that newborn calves do not fear tigers. He decides to stop playing around and show them the human puppet's true, terrifying form. The puppet undergoes a horrific beast transformation, its body warping and sprouting lethal bone spikes. Lu Li watches the transformation with a dry remark about how this is starting to look too fantasy-like. The monstrous puppet lunges forward with a burst of savage speed. It strikes Lu Li with enough force to crack the air itself. Lu Li is sent skidding across the ground, unable to withstand the upgraded beast's power. He crashes into the ground, a massive pillar of light marking the impact site. He coughs up blood, the pain of the strike leaving him reeling on the ground. He gasps out that he feels like his very body is going to split apart. Covered in blood and grime, he struggles to even lift his head. The beastly puppet leaps into the air, aiming for a finishing blow on the grounded Lu Li. But Zio Man jumps into the fray again, calling the monster an ugly freak as she prepares her punch. She delivers a point-blank strike that drives the beast deep into the muddy ground. She lands confidently beside Lu Li, declaring that she's handled the situation. She confronts Feng, asking who is bold enough to commit crimes right under the nose of the hidden Nether Guild. Feng is impressed by her technique, nodding that a junior actually possesses such incredible physical power. His eyes widen in realization. He's just found a second person with a heavenly constitution. Zio Man and the rest of the guild team stand ready, advising the old man to surrender before things get truly ugly. Old man Feng begins to walk away, mocking Lu Li for joining the guild and calling him an official eagle and dog. Fatty Wang kneels beside the injured Lu Li, urging him to hang in there. Feng disappears into the rain, stating that they will settle their score another day. Zio Man is furious, screaming at the old man to stay where he is. A hand suddenly reaches out and grabs Zio Man's cloak to hold her back. It's Fatty Wang, restraining her even as she yells at the retreating antagonist to come back. Fatty Wang points to the dark marks on Lu Li's forehead, identifying them as the human puppet curse seal. Zio Man is completely lost, having no idea what kind of curse or person Fatty is talking about. Fatty Wang warns that they can't handle Feng right now, and must focus on treating Lu Li before he turns into a monster. Using his healing arts, Fatty explains that he can only suppress the curse temporarily. They need to get Lu Li back to their base. Zio Man looks down at Lu Li, surprised that the situation is more dire than she realized. Fatty Wang hoists the unconscious Lu Li onto his back, bickering with Zio Man as they prepare to leave. The team moves out through the pouring rain, carrying the wounded young man with them. Fatty Wang explains the dark history of human puppets, beings that are neither alive nor dead, created through forbidden rituals. He continues his lecture as they walk, nodding that these puppets are invulnerable to normal weapons and talismans. Back in the safety of their vehicle, Zio Man dismisses the threat, confident she can crush any walking corpse that comes her way. As Lu Li lies unconscious in the car, his mind begins to drift back to a memory from his childhood. A younger Lu Li stares curiously at a jade pendant, asking his master what the object is. Lu Li's master places a gentle hand on the boy's head, explaining that the pendant is a powerful protective talisman. The young boy looks skeptical, wondering if his master is just making up the grand name of the treasure on the spot. The elderly man coughs, his expression turning serious as he tells Zio Li to take care of himself when his master is gone. He speaks of how hard he fought to save the boy's life, while young Lu Li tells him not to be so dramatic. The master gives the boy a playful smack on the head for his cheeky attitude. With a final, stern warning, the master tells Lu Li to never let the jade pendant leave his body, as it is quite literally his life. Lu Li looks at the pendant, wondering if his master is just being a bit dramatic about its power. But the old man is dead serious. It'll save him from one disaster, and after that, he's on his own. He walks away with a sigh, muttering about how easy it is to dodge nature compared to the trouble people cause. The master keeps moving toward the exit, his mind clearly already on his upcoming business. He tells Lu Li to keep his head down and stay low-key, leaving the kid wondering exactly how long he'll be gone. The old man doesn't give a straight answer, suggesting it might just be a few days. Then again, it could also be a few years. He steps out into the bright light, promising to return once the work is finally finished. Lu Li just stands there watching him go, left with nothing but his master's warning and that small piece of jade. Rain falls steadily over the leaves in the dead of night. Old man Feng taunts the elderly man in front of him, mocking his title of Perfected One Zhengde. While nodding, he can still divine the secrets of heaven. Li Zhengde closes his eyes as Feng proposes a final wager. He'll stake the life of Zhengde's disciple on whether the old man can survive long enough to find him. Zhengde watches the younger man collapse in the mud. Feng sighs, dismissing the boy as a mortal vessel whose time has simply run out. Old man Feng's eyes glow a menacing red, as he demands to know why they're even bothering to keep the boy around. He clenches his fist, crushing a small object into dust with a surge of dark energy. The villain turns and walks away into the rain, leaving the broken disciple behind on the ground. 3 days later, life goes on at HB Provincial Hospital, where a nurse walks past the door of room 708. Lu Li finally opens his eyes to find 2 strangers looming over his bed. The girl, Zyro Man, excitedly tells him he's been out for 3 whole days. He's still groggy, barely able to process where he is or who these people are. Zyro Man wastes no time teasing him, asking if he's some secret illegitimate son of the famous big boss Zhengde. The guy with the glasses, Fatty Wang, tells her to give him a break and hands Lu Li a medical report. The diagnosis is grim, heart failure and severe trauma. Lu Li realizes just how lucky he was to claw his way back to life. Zyro Man asks for his name again. He introduces himself as Lu Li and thanks them for paying the hospital bills. Fatty Wang introduces them as members of the guild. They're here to investigate and ask if he has any history with a man named Feng Yuzhai. Lu Li plays it safe, claiming he only knows second young Master Su and has no idea who this Feng guy is. He asks why they're so interested in his master, Li Zhengde. Fatty Wang laughs, explaining they're just trying to get a handle on things, but he points out that Lu Li is the first person to ever survive old Devil Feng. Lu Li is still confused, asking what exactly the Hidden Nether Guild is and why they're offering to protect him. Fatty Wang explains that they are an official group that oversees the hidden, supernatural practitioners who need managing to keep society stable. He dives into a lecture, explaining how they maintain order among the hermits hiding in the city. The guild categorizes these people into 4 main gates based on their philosophy and skills. The first is the Arts Gate, which originates from ancient shamanistic scripts and is said to be closest to the source of power. He mentions that in the modern era, only one person has been worthy of being called the master of this path, Li Zhengde. Lu Li is stunned. He can't believe the legendary master they're talking about is the same smelly old man he knew. Zyro Man smirks, nodding that if he really is Zhengde's student, it makes perfect sense why old man Feng is hunting him. Fatty Wang continues, moving on to the Flow Gate, which focuses on ancient schools of thought from the pre-Qin era. Then there's the Stillness Gate, where practitioners cultivate the heart and mind, producing great sages and strategists. Finally, there's the Motion Gate, comprised of those who push physical arts to the absolute limit. This lineage is famous for producing legendary generals and elite warriors. Fatty Wang gestures to Zyro Man, identifying her as a practitioner of this physical motion gate. He says she's a master of palm and fist styles, then leans in to ask if Zhengde ever mentioned anything about the ruins. Lu Li doesn't blink, claiming the Zhengde they're talking about must be someone else. He insists his master only taught him to struggle for survival and never said a word about any ruins. Despite the guild's intel, Lu Li decides he's done with the conversation, saying he needs to get back to class. He starts pulling off his hospital gown, leaving Zyro Man and Fatty Wang a bit flustered. He stands up, revealing a chest heavily wrapped in bandages, and starts getting dressed. Lu Li ignores their surprise and prepares to head out. As he leaves, Zyro Man stops him and hands him a card, telling him to call them immediately if he sees old Devil Feng again. Lu Li takes the card and promises to report any news, thanking them for the kindness as he walks out the door. Fatty Wang sighs, realizing their little brother doesn't trust them one bit. Zyro Man watches him go, feeling pity for a guy who's so handsome but has such a short time left to live. Back at the hospital, Fatty Wang is still complaining about Lu Li's attitude, calling his behavior a reckless waste of a heavenly gift. He tries to get poetic about warriors crossing swords, but his dramatic flair just leaves Zyro Man feeling like something is very, very wrong with him. Meanwhile, Lu Li is already out on the street, walking past the crowds as if he hasn't just woken up from a 3-day coma. A sleek black car pulls up right next to him. Lu Li stops, immediately putting his guard up. A man in a suit steps out and calls him by name. Lu Li isn't interested in any more surprises today. The man gives a formal bow, claiming his boss wants to meet him. Lu Li isn't buying it, asking who this mystery boss is since he doesn't know any other big shots. Without explaining, the man opens the back door and tells him he'll understand everything as soon as they arrive. Lu Li hesitates but decides to see where this leads, stepping toward the luxury car. As he gets in, he tells the guy he can't think of anyone besides Boss Su who'd have any reason to come looking for him. The subordinate gives a creepy little smirk, nodding that Lu Li is quite sharp and that they've been ordered to treat him with the utmost courtesy. The scene shifts to the Su Group headquarters, a massive skyscraper towering over the city. Inside the high-end office, the mysterious boss is losing his cool, demanding that his subordinate find Lu Li and get rid of him at any price. The man warns him that the guild is currently keeping a close eye on the kid, making any move right now extremely risky. The boss doesn't care about the risks. He offers $5 million for the job and demands results within 5 days. He leans in with a threat, telling the guy to make sure it's done cleanly unless he wants his own family dragged into the mess. His face contorts with rage as he screams that no matter what, Lu Li must die. Terrified, the subordinate quickly promises to arrange the hit immediately and scampers out of the room. Left alone, the boss glares toward the door, vowing to send Lu Li down to the afterlife to keep his son company. Back in the car, Lu Li watches the city skyline blur past as they speed down the highway. He looks calm, but his eyes are fixed on the driver as they leave the busy streets behind. He points out that if they keep going this way, they're going to leave the city limits entirely. He mocks the driver, asking if this mystery boss is some kind of Taoist hermit cultivating in the deep wilderness. He reaches forward and taps the driver on the shoulder, demanding to know where the hell they're actually going. Suddenly, his instincts scream. His eye glows with energy as he realizes something is horribly wrong. He glances in the rearview mirror and sees a nightmare. The driver's face is rotting away into a literal ghost. The thing behind the wheel is a decaying mess with hollow eyes. Lu Li realizes he's walked straight into a trap. The ghost driver turns to him, mocking him for being a lingering spirit that refuses to just stay dead. Lu Li tries the door, but it's locked tight. He's trapped inside a speeding metal coffin. The car swerves violently across the road, tires screeching against the wet asphalt. It careens toward the edge of the bridge as the city lights fade in the background. Lu Li braces for impact as the car smashes right through the concrete barrier. Glass and metal fly everywhere as the vehicle plunges off the side of the bridge. The car flips through the air, a doomed weight falling into the darkness. It slams into the ground below with a violent explosion of wreckage. Smoke billows from the twisted remains as the back door is kicked off its hinges. Lu Li crawls out of the smoldering mess, coughing and gasping for air as he hits the pavement. He kneels in the smoke, cursing himself for being careless enough to get caught in such a basic trap. Blood trickles down his face as he realizes that Boss Su isn't the only one out for his blood. Suddenly, massive wooden pillars drop from the sky like missiles, tearing through the air. The pillars slam into the earth all around him, sending up a massive cloud of dust and debris. A few yards away, a teenager with a bowl cut stands watching, wondering if he really has to handle a mere bronze-rank target personally. He's too busy raging at his mobile game, though, screaming at his jungler teammate for being a complete idiot. Young Mystic is still completely fixated on his game, screaming at his pacifist teammate for missing a point-blank ultimate attack. He looks over his shoulder, noticing Lu Li amidst the wreckage and mocking him as a camper squatting in the bushes. He calls out to Lu Li, asking if he's the target and joking that the man is just out here to use the bathroom. Lu Li asks who he is, but the boy doesn't care about introductions. He just wants the bounty to buy some new game skins. With a loud crash, two massive wooden coffins slam into the ground, their green eyes glowing through the dust. Young Mystic treats the fight like a game, ordering his support to initiate as a grotesque, ghoul-like figure emerges from the smoke. He tells his spirits to wrap things up quickly so he can finish his day and get back to his match. Lu Li crouches low, his silver ponytail whipping in the wind as the air grows thick with spiritual pressure. The ghouls charge forward with jerky, unnatural movements, lunging at Lu Li from the shadows. Young Mystic doesn't even look away from his phone, casually commanding his minions to steamroll Lu Li for him. A ghoul leaps through the air, its hand glowing with a sickly green energy as it aims for Lu Li's head. Lu Li watches the incoming attack with a cold, detached expression, his gray eyes reflecting the moonlight. The ground shatters as the ghoul slams down, but Lu Li is already a blur of motion, dodging the strike with ease. One of the ghouls is sent flying backward, crashing headfirst into the shattered windshield of the car. Lu Li stands tall in the middle of the bridge, a terrifying, predatory presence despite the spirits surrounding him. Another ghoul with glowing green eyes lunges from the side, its claws outstretched. Lu Li shouts as lightning erupts from his palm, blasting the ghoul's hand away in a shower of sparks. A massive bolt of blue electricity strikes the center of the bridge, illuminating the chaos. The boy's eyes widen in genuine surprise as he realizes Lu Li is actually using powerful thunder arts. Lightning arcs across the asphalt, tearing through the spectral ghouls and forcing them back. Lu Li's right eye begins to glow with a brilliant blue spiral, his expression turning icy and focused. The superior man, in fear and trembling, sets his life in order, Lu Li mutters as lightning dances around him. One of the ghouls is vaporized by the intense electrical discharge, leaving only wisps of green smoke behind. Lu Li charges toward the boy, a streak of white light cutting through the gloom. The boy quickly tucks his phone away, his face finally showing a hint of malice. He forms a series of rapid hand signs, casting a powerful edict to summon 5 ghosts to devour Lu Li's soul. Green spectral ribbons erupt from the boy's hands, snaking through the air like hungry serpents. Lu Li finds himself surrounded by the ethereal chains, their green glow casting long shadows on the road. The chains tighten around him, glowing with a malevolent light as they lock onto his spirit. The spectral remnants of the fallen ghouls are pulled into the spell, adding to the strength of the soul lock. The boy pulls the energy ribbons taut, a malicious grin spreading across his face. His eyes glow with a blinding white light as he pours his spiritual energy into the binding technique. Multiple beams of green energy strike Lu Li at once, pinning him to the spot and draining his strength. The boy mocks him, laughing that Lu Li's legendary thunder arts aren't as powerful as the rumors claimed. He explains that his technique is a direct counter to the righteous exorcists who try to hide behind lightning. Lu Li groans as the green energy spikes pierce his body, his lightning failing to repel the spectral attack. "I can't hold them back," Lu Li gasps as the green spikes sink deeper into his chest and limbs. The boy chuckles, declaring the match over and taunting Lu Li with a final GG. As the green energy flows into him, Lu Li is struck by a wave of restless hunger, feeling like he's back on that fateful rainy night. His vision blurs, and he feels a primal instinct to consume taking over his body. Deep within his core, a spectral heart pulses with dark energy, screaming for more yin malice to feed its hunger. Lu Li realizes the boy's attack is actually being absorbed by his twin Pisces constitution, and he warns the boy not to blame him for what happens next. Young Mystic is stunned, his eyes wide as he realizes his spectral attack has no effect on Lu Li. He cries out in disbelief, convinced that Lu Li must be using some kind of skill immunity cheat code. Desperate, the boy tries to run away, shouting over his shoulder that Lu Li is being way too obvious with his hacks. Lu Li remains perfectly calm, his silver hair catching the dim light as he watches the boy's pathetic attempt to escape. The boy pushes himself to run faster, but he can't outrun the predatory presence closing in on him. In a flash, Lu Li is right behind him, his sheer power forcing the boy to a sudden, stumbling halt. Lu Li stands tall and intimidating, telling the boy that the match isn't over and he shouldn't be in such a rush to disconnect. Terrified and sweating profusely, the boy tries to laugh it off, making up a pathetic excuse about his mom calling him home for dinner. Lu Li isn't buying it, demanding an explanation and warning the boy that leaving won't be that easy. The boy continues to ramble, claiming he was just trying to liven up the atmosphere, and that he was worried Lu Li was lonely out in the sticks. Lu Li cuts him off, his voice cold as he asks how much more of the spectral malice the boy has left to give. Panicking, the boy swears he has no idea what Lu Li is talking about, and that he's never even seen this malice before. Lu Li places a hand on the boy's shoulder, lightning beginning to arc between his fingers as he suggests testing if thunder works on people. The boy breaks down, praising Lu Li's unrivaled power and admitting that his own skills are trash in comparison. Lu Li ignores the flattery, ordering the boy to summon all his spirits and use the soul lock technique on him again. The boy begs for mercy, claiming to be a coward and insisting that the whole attack was just a huge misunderstanding. Lu Li gives him a 5-second ultimatum, threatening another session of shock therapy if he doesn't comply. Realizing he has no choice, the boy sits cross-legged and begins to channel his green energy, warning Lu Li not to blame him if he kicks the bucket. Lu Li stands ready as the green ribbons of energy begin to swirl around him once more. The boy pours everything he has into the technique, his face set in a grimace of concentration. Suddenly, a massive, glowing blue array erupts beneath Lu Li's feet, and the two spirits of the twin Pisces begin to swirl around him. The twin Pisces spirits open their mouths, hungrily devouring the boy's green spectral energy. Lu Li sits in quiet meditation under the full moon, his body acting as a vessel for the massive amount of energy he's absorbing. After a few moments, the energy flow slows down, and Lu Li looks up at the exhausted boy, coldly telling him to keep going. The young mystic wails in frustration, crying about being used like a portable charger. He tries to claim a warrior's pride, but it doesn't look very convincing through the tears. Lu Li isn't interested in the complaints. He just tells the kid to stop slacking off and get moving. The boy finally hits his limit, looking completely drained. He begs for mercy, swearing he doesn't have a single drop of energy left to give. Lu Li just stands there unfazed, asking if anyone else in the kid's family knows how to do this. That's the cue for the teen to bolt. He screams that he'd stay and fight to the death if he weren't so outmatched. He practically flies away, putting as much distance as possible between himself and Lu Li. Lu Li watches him disappear into the night. He thinks the kid's reaction was a bit much for such a simple question. Elsewhere, a massive mansion sits quiet under the moonlight. Inside, a subordinate reports the bad news. The attempt to take down Lu Li was a failure. The mysterious boss takes the news calmly, eyes closed as he processes the situation. He gives the group a 3-day deadline to finish the job and hands off a demolition project at Fangguang Hutong to keep them busy. He plans to use the site to lure Lu Li into another trap, threatening to take back every cent he's paid them if they fail again.